Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. So if you are new here, my name is Keegan. I'm 18 years old and I'm a reseller on Poshmark and eBay. So this video is a big collaboration with a lot of my close friends here on YouTube and Instagram. All of us though are putting out YouTube videos of 5 brands that we wanted to find in 2024 and then 5 brands we hope to find in 2025. And also some people might share some goals and just like things they did throughout the year or things they want to do in 2025. People participating in this collaboration this year are Amanda Pruitt, Elaine or Alana, Heather the Canary Closet, Kelly Schaffner, Lori Tata or Lori's Boston Found, Alicia from Married Life, and Victoria from Super Geek. So all these people, I watch all their videos and I would love to go thrifting with them. So I'm so excited to have them this year as part of the collaboration video. Kelly Schaffner originally hosted this collaboration. This is the 3rd year this particular collaboration has taken place. Then last year, Kelly said she couldn't do it. I decided I was going to try to organize it, and then I did that again this year. So this year has been really interesting for me, as well as I'm sure most of you. I did my first semester at college in Nashville, and I absolutely love it there. I'm excited to go back, and I'm on Christmas break right now, but I'm counting down the days to go back to Nashville. Anyways, so for those who don't know, I'm from Illinois, central Illinois area, but I go to college in Nashville. So I was able to check off a lot of new brands this year in Nashville, brands that I wanted to find in 2024. Although I did not find all of them, I crossed 2 out of the 3. So I think that was better than I did last year. I think I only crossed the first year, brands I wanted to find in, I think 2022. Guys, I can't remember these dates and all that. The brands I wanted to find were Silver Lake, Zarina, Jenny Kane, Arc'teryx, and Aviator Nation. And the only brand that I was successful finding was Arc'teryx. And I have found a good amount of Arc'teryx since then, which I'm really grateful for because I love to sell that brand. And I also did find a Jenny Kane sweater this year, which I was exciting, but that was not my list for 2024 to find. I was also able to find some brands that I found in 2024 again. One of those being Frank and Eileen and Imogene and Willie. I find a lot of Imogene and Willie in Nashville. That's a brand that sells really well for me. I love to sell that brand. So now for the Bolos I wanted to find of 2024, first was the Office of Angela Scott. Now, I always kind of put a more obscure shoe brand on my top 5 list, each year I've done it. And I don't always think I'm going to find things. Sometimes I feel like I'm a little bit reaching for the brands on my list, but it's always fun to create myself a challenge, I guess. So Office of Angela Scott, I just kind of like the designs of this brand and everything like that. And they look really high quality. I've never touched, or I actually have touched a pair. I got them from a Real, but I had to return them because they had an undisclosed wear. So, but they were very high quality. And yeah, I was really excited to sell them, so I was bummed I couldn't. Anyways, I have not found it. I have not sold it. I have not even listed a pair. So hopefully I can find those in 2025, but I did not find them in 2024 like I had hoped. Next is Stod. I did not find Stod, although I will say not everything in the brand Stod does that well. So I'd be happy to find it. I think that, I wouldn't be surprised if I came across it in Nashville because it's a little bit more trendy than the cornfield part of Illinois. So I don't know, but I did find some brands this year in Illinois that I was kind of surprised to find. My 3rd brand on the list that I actually did find was Anine Bing. I found a pair of pants in Nashville back in June when I went for my college orientation, and I was so excited to cross the brand off my list. So that was really exciting. Number 2 was Veronica Beard. Now, I feel like everybody can find Veronica Beard. I haven't even found a simple tank top or anything. The brand, I just cannot find it for whatever reason. I see it even at my local buy sell trade stores all the time. I found a blouse at my Plato's Closet. I see Veronica Beard everywhere except when I'm at the Goodwills. I cannot find it, and I thought I was going to be able to find it in Nashville even if it wasn't a good style, but it's probably good that I didn't because I don't want to pick up something that's not going to sell. But I did not find Veronica Beard. Maybe 2025 is the year for that, although I have sold Veronica Beard and I just got sent a Veronica Beard blazer from Kelly, so that was exciting. And the number 1 brand on my list of 2024 was the brand Vejas, or Veja is how you pronounce it. I think Veja sounds better, which is why I say Veja, but I did find a pair of Vejas. I was so excited. I do have a story about that, Basically, I had it was a regular Goodwill store in Nashville. One lady had one shoe, I had the other. I asked her to flip a coin, she said no, and I had to like literally get the Goodwill manager and stuff. I ended up with a pair of Vejas. I was really excited, and they quickly sold for $65. That is a brand I do like myself. I found a pair at the National Plato's Closet for $15 that I ended up keeping. So I have 2 pairs of Vejas, and then I've sold like 3 this year because I found a pair at my local like Illinois buy-sell trade store. And yeah, I really like to sell that brand. And then I had a new shoe cart came out in Nashville, and somebody picked up a pair of Vejas before I could get there, so that was also depressing. But I did find a pair of Vejas this year, so the number one brand on my list I crossed off. Before we get into the 2024 Bolos that I found that were not on my list, like just kind of like new Bolos or things that I like discovered, my goals for the 2024 year were figure out a plan for college and have fun. So figure out a plan for college. I mean, did I do the best I could? Probably not, but I mean, with not having a car on campus, I feel like I did a fine job. My friends, I encouraged them to go out thrifting. Some of them have never been thrifting before, and they did it anyway. I didn't go thrifting as much as I'd have liked to, but I did go thrifting a good amount, and I found some really good stuff. So I'd say I figured out a plan. I shipped from my dorm room, and I kind of figured it out the best I could. Could I have done it maybe better in some areas? Probably, but I feel like I accomplished that goal. Have fun. So one of my other goal was to have fun, and I definitely crossed this off, but in some ways I didn't, because I'm gonna be honest, like a lot of the times I got like stressed out in the Goodwills because I'd be on a time crunch and things like that. So like, and they're just the people, like I would just kind of get overwhelmed sometimes. So in that aspect, I just didn't have as much fun, and it was almost like thrifting became overwhelming sometimes. And like for me, thrifting is just supposed to be like fun. Even, well, I mean, okay, you can't have a good thrift trip every trip, but I don't know. But I did have fun a majority of the time. And I had fun doing YouTube. So I would say I accomplished this for the most part, but there's some areas that I needed to work on, and hopefully I can work on in 2025. Obviously, not all parts of reselling are fun, like returns and things like that. And I'm not like talking about that. I'm just talking about just like for the things that I can control to be fun, like did I make them fun? Anyways, so I accomplished that, but also I could work on it a little bit. 2024 Bolos that I found. So my honorable mention is I finally found an adult pair of Rothy's. If you guys know, it took me like almost like 4 years of reselling to find an adult pair of Rothy's, and since then I found it like right in my area right before I left for college, and since then I found like 7 pairs or something. So finally found Rothy's, and my mom has found so many Rothy's in my area. My sisters found some, so all my family members are finding Rothy's now, which is fine. They don't sell as much as I used to, but they are still selling for me. Okay, and then the next thing is Cotopaxi. I try to not, like last year I did so many honorable mentions. I really just got to cut it quick this year. So I have 2 more honorable mentions, and then my top 5 finds of 2024. So Cotopaxi, I just recently found this one. This will be coming out in a YouTube video probably next year in 2025, like early January, sometime around there. But I came back to my local area, and I found a long Cotopaxi jacket. I gave it to my sister for Christmas, but that would have sold for like $100. I was really excited to find a Cotopaxi. Only other time I found it was a t-shirt, and I had to leave it because it was pretty wash worn. So, and then the next one is Farm Rio. I found Farm Rio twice this year at a Nashville Goodwill, and they sold pretty quickly. Or one topped it, even though it was flawed. So I was excited to cross that brand off my list, even though it doesn't excite me compared to some other brands, but that's okay. Okay, now for my top finds of the year. So number 5 is the brand Meow. It's spelled Miaou. I first found a new Tex top at my Plato's Closet for $8, and it sold on eBay for like $70. It got returned because I do a lot of returns on eBay if the person pays for shipping there and back. I really listed on Poshmark, and it quickly sold for like 71 or something. I probably could have priced this higher. It sold like in a day both times, so I probably should have learned from the first time, being like, oh, this sold pretty quickly, maybe hold out a little bit. Either way, for $8 into $70 in a day, that's fine with me. But I do not count things I find out at the buy-sell trade store off of my Bolo list. For an example, I have a written Bolo list here. I made this like 3 years ago, and I was planning on like adding things each year. Honestly, I haven't touched it since then. I left it. I didn't bring it to school with me or anything, but there are some brands that I have found at the buy-sell trade store and picked up that I don't cross off my list because I don't think it counts, at least for me. Like an example of that is Magnolia Pearl. I found that at a consignment store and buy sell trade store, but I did not cross it off my list. Same with like Nilly Lotan. I have found that as well. But there's a whole bunch of other brands like Veronica Beer down there. Yeah, another one that comes to mind is like Love Shack Fancy. I found a dress at my local Plato's Closet for $18. So that was an example of like something I found at the buy sell trade store, but I haven't found in the wild at like a Goodwill, Salvation Army, or any type of like actual like thrift store that people donate to. Just browsing my local Goodwill one day and I found a Meow printed denim jacket and I paid like $6 for it or something. I listed it for $135 and within a week or so I got a $100 offer on eBay. So I was really excited to find that. Meow is a brand I've sold twice now and it's done really well for me both times. So I'm definitely going to keep looking out for that brand. I don't know how. I just found 2 pieces in my area because I don't think it's like a super like well-known brand by any means, but I was really excited to find it both times, so that was exciting, and I'm happy I got to cross that brand off my Bolo list, even though I kind of like learned about it myself. The next thing I crossed off my list was the brand Mousy Vintage. Jeans are my favorite thing to sell, so I always look through the jeans section if I'm at like a thrift store or like buy sell trade store or anything. But I did find a pair of Mousy Vintage jeans in the wild at a Nashville Goodwill. The same time, I found like the Nina Bing jeans. They were like 2 days apart. They were at different Goodwills, but that was a good thrifting weekend. And they were just a size 25 skinny crop jean, which is definitely not a style I like look for, but it is a style I will sell if the brand is right, and Mousy Vintage is a brand that is right. And they sold for $61, which for a size 25 crop skinny jean, I think that's really good. So I was happy to find that brand, and my mom actually has found it in my area since, but I haven't listed those yet. Anyways, my number 3 from a Nashville Goodwill was a Rick Owens. Rick Owens is a particular designer that makes very interesting pieces, to say the least, but I found a dress. I just listed this today actually for $135. It does have a small flaw to it, but some Rick Owens items can sell for like hundreds. This one I'm hoping to get like $80 to $100 for. We'll see how it does, but I was excited to find Rick Owens and it was like $7, so that was a score. The next brand isn't like a huge designer or anything, but I was just so impressed on how these items performed. I went to Colorado. My roommate is from Colorado, and he invited me back to his house Thanksgiving break, and I was like, sure, I will go. So I went, and his mom is actually also a reseller, and so we obviously hit up a few of the Colorado thrift stores, and at one of the ARCs, which is, I'm not really sure like what kind of thrift store it is. I know people donate there, but I found 6 pairs of the brand Kimes Ranch jeans. It was my first time coming across them at a thrift store, and I picked all of them up except one pair because one pair was really worn, and I'm thinking maybe I should have bought them now, but it's probably good that I didn't. I had to be a little bit more selective with the stuff that I brought home on this trip, but I picked up 6 pairs, and they all sold within a week, and I think all but one pair sold for over $50. So all within a week, and the highest price pre-owned sold for $90. So 6 pairs all selling within 1 week, all to different people, and they were both on eBay and Poshmark. Just makes me believe people are looking out for this brand. And then I went to my local buy sell trade store when I came home from break, and I did find a pair of Kimes Ranch jeans for I think $16, and I always have in-store credit, so I definitely bought those. So I haven't listed those yet, but I'm expecting over $50 for those. So Kimes Ranch, not like a huge like designer or anything like that, but just because of how they did, I would consider them to be Bolo, and I'd be really excited to found them again. All right, and my number 1 find of this year, again, this is a designer brand, but if I sold this compared to other things, it wouldn't make me the most amount of money. This is the brand Zadig and Voltaire. I've never found Zadig and Voltaire, but I was at a Nashville Goodwill, the same store from the Nina Bing, and it's kind of on the outskirts of Nashville, so I haven't been to it. I've only been back to it. I've only been in the store 3 times compared to the Rick Owens store and the Mousy Vintage store where I go like maybe once every other week, or that's the one I go to the most. Well, I did find this Zadig and Voltaire sweatshirt. I was just kind of browsing and I just found it, and I was like, I don't know, I just put it in the cart. I've never found it. I'm like, yeah, I can cross off Zadig and Voltaire, and I didn't think it was going to even be like that exciting. Well, then I was looking at it more, and I was like, wait, this sweatshirt is just really, really cool, and I just really, really like it. So I was at the Goodwill. I was planning on buying it to like resell. I tried it on, and I'm like, this like fits amazing. It feels so nice, and I just really like the style of it and everything like that. My sister saw it, and she's like, wow, like I want that. And I'm like, no, you're not taking it. And as I'm trying it on, I feel like something, and I realized it was new with tags, so that was insane. It like retails for like $350, but I did keep it, and I have worn it several times since. Like, I love, 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 love that sweatshirt, so I'm so excited to find that, and that is why it is my number one find of the year, because I never found the brand before, and, well, all those brands. It was my first time finding all of those brands, but I never found Zitting and Fletaire, and it is one of my most favorite thrifted items ever. The only one that I feel like would tie it, I found an Arc'teryx vest for myself, and I wear that one often as well. But the Zitting and Voltaire and Arc'teryx vest, I found that one, the Arc'teryx vest in 2023, but I really like them both, and I'm so grateful to find those and cross that brand off my list. Okay, now the long-awaited Bolos for 2025. So, I don't want to make these like, obviously, I don't think there is a particular brand that is like, okay, I'm never going to find this. Anything's possible, no matter where you live. Like, I found Laura Piana and Brunello Cucinelli in 2023 in the middle of Arkansas, absolutely nowhere. I found Tom Brown or Tom Ford. I think it was Tom Ford in my area, in a pair of Brunello Cucinelli sneakers. I just found a new with tags retro fet top at my local Goodwill. So really crazy brands, but you just never know. Well, I kind of made these a little bit more realistic this year, but and I tried to make them a little bit more obscure so I could have some different brands than some of the other people in this collaboration video. But if we might share one or two of the same brands, which would be really cool. So, like, yeah, I'd be really excited to find brands like Magnolia Pearl or like Zimmermann dress or something like that, but they're not going to be on my list, even though I would be excited to find them. Like, as you can see, I have a whole bunch of brands that I would like to find that I haven't necessarily crossed off yet, and I have been able to cross off some other brands. So, with that being said, here are the top 5 brands on my list. Well, I always say I do like a fun like pair of shoes, so even though these are on my top 5, the brand is Stubbs and Wooten, which is a brand I'm sure most of you, or a lot of you, might be familiar with already. I've just never found a pair. I think they're like kind of like unique shoes, and I'd be excited to find a pair. But they didn't make my top 5 list, but I wanted a pair of like a shoe. I wanted to throw like a little more of like a shoe brand up there, even because I have done that in past years. But okay, anyways, the top 5 brands for this year are number 5 is Alp and Rock. Alp and Rock is, I don't know, they like just like make like thermal type items and like outdoorsy wear, but it's not really like, I don't really know how to describe it, honestly. I've never found it, but I know it can perform really, really well, so I'd be really excited to find that in 2025, and I feel like it is possible, so we'll see if I can find Alp and Rock this year. Number 4 is the brand Ace and Jig. So I don't know, I wasn't really sure if I was going to put this one on there or not, but I would probably do a Jig if I found Ace and Jig. I'd be excited to find that brand, even though Ace and Jig is a brand I think is popular in the reselling community, and I feel like a lot of people know about it. But if you haven't learned about it, like, I'm hopefully posting tags as I go, and I would be very excited to find it, so hope I can. All right, this brand is very, I would say, obscure, and this one might be reaching a little bit. Honestly, a lot of these, my top 3 are probably reaching a little bit. I'd say like the thing I'd be most likely to find is probably either the Ace and Jig or Alpenrock, but and maybe number 2. But number 3 and 1 are probably going to be a little bit reaching, and will I find them? We'll see in 2026, but we'll see. Okay, so number 3 is the brand, and I will put this on the screen because I definitely am not pronouncing this correctly, but and Demeluzi Steamer. So I definitely did not pronounce that correctly, but hopefully, based on the tag I posted and just the wording on the screen, you guys can see this brand is wildly expensive, and it looks like it resells well. I learned about it a few years ago, and I've had it on my Bolo list for a while. I think it'd be interesting to like touch a piece, see how it performs, and sell it. Number 2 is another Nashville brand. So Imogen and Willie is a Nashville brand. They'd have a store, I think, in Austin or something like that as well, but it is not Imogen and Willie. I did find that in my local area twice, and that is one brand I wrote that I discovered in 2023 and have found it in 2024. But this is the brand Elizabeth Suzanne. So this brand is very plain. A lot of their styles are like minimalist, aren't going to go to style. market themselves as a slow fashion brand. So this brand did shut down in 2020, I believe, during COVID, and I think they have now restarted. Their items were made in Nashville, and I'm not sure if they still are. I haven't encountered this brand at all in Nashville, so I'm not sure if it's like, I don't know. But when I look it up online, especially on Poshmark, it has a really, really, really big following. Like, it's a very small like community. You can tell, I feel sometimes, if people are listing the items like a certain way. So it'll be like Elizabeth Suzanne, like the exact name of the top and color. And I just feel like a lot of other brands take the time to do the exact style, but like these people did. So it makes me think that they're always searching for like specific items or just like the brand in general. So it's a Nashville brand, so I feel like I'd be most likely to find it in Nashville, but a lot of this looks like they're selling fast and for a good amount of money. It looks like they retain their value pretty well, even though it's not like they don't retail for like $1,000. They still are expensive, and I'd be happy to find it and just try it out. Okay, and the number one brand this year is the brand Melanzana. So when I went to Colorado, every time I'm in a new area or something like that, I always have my Facebook Marketplace go to that location just to see if I can, find a deal on there. I do occasionally source from Facebook Marketplace, but I like to source at like Goodwill or buy-sell trade stores more. I kept seeing these like hoodies and like jackets and like pullovers from this brand Melanzana, and they were all priced over $100, like pre-owned on Facebook Marketplace. And I was like, what is going on? I'm like, it doesn't really look like all that much to me. And I was like, why are people pricing these so high? But like, then I saw people like, will trade for size small, or like will trade for size large, or like looking to trade for this item. And I feel like you see that on just like brands that are like, people are like searching out for, or brands have like gone out of business, or just like styles that are like no longer produced or something. So I'm like, why are these being priced at $100? And some of them I saw like were market depending. So like some of them were like selling for that, like locally on Facebook Marketplace. Like, what is going on? So I go into Poshmark, and like same thing, like it's just like they're like rapidly selling, and I'm like, okay, like this is really interesting. So I dug a little bit deeper into the site, and it turns out the brand is based out of Leadville, Colorado, which is about 2 hours from Colorado Springs, I believe. They do not sell online. Like, you cannot buy a Melanzana online directly from Melanzana. You have to get it from other sites like Poshmark, eBay, or any other like online platform. So that means you have to go to, if you want one to buy one new, you have to go to Leadville, Colorado at the Melanzana store, or find one like from a different party. So I was like, okay, that's really interesting. Well, on top of that, you can't just walk into the Leadville, Colorado Melanzana store to get a hoodie or pullover. A lot of them, I feel like the most popular ones are like the waffle, like textured ones, but they also make some other different patterns and things like that. So you have to make an appointment to be able to get a Melanzana hoodie. I'm not really sure what the retail is. I think like around $100 to $150 for these hoodies, but they're all made in Leadville, Colorado, which my roommate said, he's like, there's stuff that's made there. And I'm like, yeah, Melanzana, I guess. So I don't know. But the appointments, they don't have an opening for like 6 to 8 months. 6 to 8 months for this hoodie or something. I'm like, is it harder to get a Melanzana hoodie than it is to get a Birkin? I have no idea. So I think, since I went to Colorado, I feel like you're most likely going to be able to find a Melanzana item in Colorado. I'm sure you can find them in other areas. I'm sure somebody where I live owned a Melanzana hoodie because they took a vacation to Colorado, knew about it, or they bought one before like COVID and or anything like that. And I think you were able to go into the store before COVID just to like buy one. So I guess I don't know, maybe somebody got one before then or something. But ever since COVID, I think they had such a backlog that they had to like make sure people, when they came, got hoodies or something, and they created appointments. But I don't know. So Melanzana, I feel like my time, like when I went to Colorado, that was my best shot of finding it. But I guess you never know. We'll see if I find one. If I find one in my size, would I keep it? I'm not exactly sure, because I know they would sell in like 3 days or something for like over $100. But we'll see if I find one, and if it's in my size, I'll probably at least try it on. We'll just say that. Those are my Bolos for 2025. Leave a comment down below and let me know what your Bolos are. Another thing is, I got accepted to study abroad in Vienna, Austria through my school in fall of 2025. So in my fall sophomore year, I will be in Vienna, Austria. I do not know what that looks like for my reselling business. Obviously, I won't be thrifting in Nashville or anywhere in the United States because I'll be in Europe for several months, but I'm so excited. That is not an opportunity I wanted to turn down. I wanted to study abroad. My sister got to study abroad, older sister, and I feel like now it is my turn. So there might be some thrifting in Europe. There might not be. I'm not really sure what, I'll probably always be reselling and stuff, but I might have to take a break for a couple months. Not that I want to, but I mean, I'd rather study abroad than do reselling, if I'm being honest. We'll see if I can make videos there. If not, we'll probably be on a little bit of a pause and I'll restart in 2026 or the end of 2025. But for the first, several months of 2025, I'll still be reselling and everything like that and going strong. I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Liked today's video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. And again, let me know maybe some of your goals. Leave a comment down below some of your goals for 2025. Be sure to watch everybody else's video in the collaboration. All their videos should be linked down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a strong year, and I will see you guys in the next video. I do have some really exciting videos planned, including probably one of my best hauls of 2024, just some other Nashville thrift videos, some things from my local area. So lots of videos hopefully getting produced in the next couple of weeks or so, and I will see you guys in the next video.